Week 5 of the fantasy basketball season's here. But here's a few forwards I would trade away this week. The first one's Jerami Grant of the Detroit Pistons. Grant, he's been on this list a few times this season, and he's having a great season, no doubt about it. 24 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2.5 assists, a steal, 1.4 block a game, 2.7 threes, 86% from the foul line, and 46% from the field is Grant. He's ranked number 15th right now in fantasy basketball. And like I said, he's having an amazing season. But in this case here, I'm going to look to trade Grant. His value skyrocketed. It's way up there. And I don't think he's going to sustain these numbers the whole season. I know I've been saying this for weeks now about Grant, that he's not going to keep these numbers up. But so far, he's proven me wrong. And right now, he's the main man over there in Detroit. But if you could trade him and get a superstar who you know does it season in and season out for fantasy owners, it's a deal you go out there and make. I'm not just going to dump Grant. I'm going to want something of very good value and a guy who's going to get the job done for my fantasy team. But if I could trade him and sell him high, this is the time to do it. Ranked number 15th. I don't think he's going to keep it up, and I would sell him. The second forward I would trade off and sell high this week's Kelvin Johnson of the San Antonio Spurs. Johnson, he's been a pretty good player this season for the Spurs, and fantasy owners that picked him up early in the year. He's ranked number 47 right now in fantasy basketball. He's averaging 14.2 points a game, 7 rebounds, 2.2 assists, 1.1 steals, 1.2 threes a game he's hitting, 78% from the foul line, and 47% from the field. So Johnson, he's had a couple big games, the last few games on and off. January 14th, his biggest one, 29 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists with 2 threes. And then the last couple games, he's tapered off a little. 11 points, 10 points. And this is what the type of games I think we're going to see from Johnson. He'll explode here and there for huge games. But now with DeMar DeRozan and Aldridge back in the lineup, I don't think we're going to see many games where Johnson goes over 20 points or more in there. So I would try to sell him off. And I think you could attach him with someone or even a 1-for-1 deal and get someone of good value in a trade. The third forward I would try to get rid of and sell high this week's Otto Porter Jr. of the Chicago Bulls. Porter Jr., he lost his starting job now with Lauri Markkanen come back. And Markkanen, he looks like the player that he was a few seasons ago in his rookie year, hitting threes, scoring 20, 25 points. And Otto Porter Jr. on the season, his stats, they're not that bad. 12.5 points a game, 6.7 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 1.8 threes, and 46% from the field, and 85% from the foul line for Otto Porter. So Porter, he's had a couple decent games this season where he's exploded, but now we're Markkanen back and him a little banged up as well. Porter, he's expendable. I wouldn't just drop him unless you're an 8 to 10 team league. I would try to add him on in a package deal or a 1-for-1 deal for a young guy that you're looking to break out. Because Otto Porter, I think his value is going to be low now the rest of the season, with Zach LaVine being the main man, with Markkanen coming back, like I said, and also Kobe White there. So those 3-4 guys are ahead of him in the pecking order, and I would try to get rid of him right now with Otto Porter. The next guy's Gordon Hayward of the Charlotte Hornets. Hayward, he's been on this list a bunch of times now this season, and I think it's just a matter of time before he gets hurt or he just falls off. Is Hayward. This season, it's been an amazing season so far for Hayward. After getting that huge contract in free agency, 22.2 points a game, 5 assists, 3.7 rebounds, 1.2 steals, 2.1 threes a game, 93% from the foul line, which is amazing, and 49% from the field. So Hayward, he's giving you a little bit of everything. He's filling up the stat sheet, but the thing with him, this is his peak value right now. Once again, each week I keep saying it, but one week I'm going to get it right, and you're going to say, I should have traded Hayward. So if you could get something great, I'm not saying dump him as well. You sell him high here because his value is number 19th on the season in the fantasy rankings, and I don't think he keeps it up, so I would get rid of Hayward. The fifth and final forward I would trade off this week and sell high is Mikel Bridges of the Phoenix Suns. Bridges, what a season it's been for him, ranked number 41 so far in fantasy basketball. 15.3 points a game, 5.6 boards a game, an assist and a half a game, 1.2 blocks, 2.6 threes, 51% from the field, and 78 from the line. So Bridges, his points are up 6 points a game this season. His rebounds have jumped up 2 boards a game as well, and his threes have gone up 1.5. So right now he's putting up huge numbers, is Bridges, compared to last season, but I don't think he's going to sustain it. Phoenix, they got a few guys ahead of him over there that can get usage in the ball, obviously. Chris Paul, you got Devin Booker, and you got DeAndre Ayton, who's been slumping, but I think he's going to get things going after coming off an 18-point, 16-rebound game. So Bridges, same thing as Hayward. You're not just going to trade him to dump him, but I think him as a second piece in a deal and an add-on guy for a 2-for-2 deal or a 2-for-1, he's a good sell-off, because I don't think he sustains these numbers, and especially the scoring and the three-point shooting. So that's a few forwards I would look to sell high here in Week 5 of the fantasy basketball season.